Hello there, this is News Review. It's September 2nd, 2019. My name is Lamin Jai. Coming up, Kola King or Lord Jaliba Kuyate has responded to criticisms that he is in supporting young Gambian musicians in their development and growth. He also spoke to the Fatu Network in an exclusive interview on his recent Europe tour and a new album that is built to be launched in January 2020. We will bring you that interview a little later. We will first take a look at the papers, and I am joined by Fatou Cisse. He will be looking at the papers, after which we will bring you that exclusive chat we had with Jaliba. Fatou, thank you very much. And what do we have on the papers today?
Thank you, Lamin. We have the Point and Foria, and the Point headline reads, Gambia domestic debt is 32.5 billion as of July. Sir Dawda OJ recounts quintessential characters of a phenomenal leader. UK Minister of Armed Forces visit the Gambia. Former Interior Minister appointed Consul General in Saudi Arabia. The top stories read, Gambia domestic debt is 32.5 billion as of July. The governor of the Central Bank of the Gambia on Thursday disclosed in a press conference that the stock of domestic debt stood at 32.5 billion as at end July 2019 compared to 31.2 billion in the corresponding period a year ago. UK Minister of Armed Forces visits the Gambia. On 30th to 31st August, the UK Minister for Armed Forces, Lieutenant Mark Lancaster, concluded his trip to West Africa with a 2-day visit to the Gambia. The Minister for Armed Forces met with President Adama Barrow, where they affirmed the long-enduring partnership and discussed the national reform agenda, focusing on human rights, political freedoms, and security sector reform. He welcomed the recent appointment for the First Minister of Defense, Honorable Sheikh Omar Faye, in 2 decades and emphasized the UK's commitment to a strong defense relationship. The Minister for Armed Forces also met with the Attorney General and Minister for Justice and the Chief of Defense Staff. The Minister for Armed Forces also visited the Gambia Armed Forces Training School. Former Interior Minister appointed Consul General in Saudi Arabia. The former Minister of the Interior has been appointed Consul General of the Republic of the Gambia in Jeddah, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, effective 21st August 2019, a source close to the Point said. Ibrahim Ambalo's appointment will be on contract basis for an initial period of 2 years with terms and conditions being speculated according to our source. Foria headline reads, Government intercepts 38 containers of timber. Usman Dabo finally laid to rest. Farmers' demand for fertilizer farm implements. Activist civil society group retaliate call to bail Killer Ace orders. Government intercept 38 containers of timber. The Minister of the Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, Lamin Diba, said his minister has intercepted over 30 containers, loads of timber at the Gambia Ports Authority. The minister disclosed this information at a meeting he had with all forestry platforms regarding issues concerning the environment, its degradation, and the cutting down of trees. Minister Diba said those responsible in this trade and export of timber will be taken to court in order to set an example because they are engaged in the business of logs without permission from the ministry and departments concerned. Usman Dabo finally laid to rest. Usman Dabo, whose death provoked a spontaneous mass demonstration in the Kanifing municipality, was finally laid to rest. On Friday, 30th August 2019, at the graveyard in Latikunda, Yiringanya, it was alleged that his death was caused by maltreatment. Farmers' demand for fertilizer, farm implements, Agri-Minister response. Farmers from across the length and breadth of the country demanded the government through the Minister of Agriculture to provide them with fertilizer and farm implements to boost their production. Farmers made these demands during the minister's nationwide tour to assess the impact of the year's rainy seasons, as well as the impact on projects under her ministry and other lives and livelihood of the farmers. That's all for the newspapers. Over to you, Lamin.
Well, Fatou, thank you very much for the papers there. That was Fatou Cisse with the papers there. Now, Jaliba Kuyate has linked his success to hard work. The country's most successful musician of the modern era, speaking in an exclusive interview with the Fatu Network today, called on young Gambian musicians to be hardworking in order to find success. The interview with Jaliba is a little long, so that interview will now air. Hello there, my name is Lamin Jai. This is a special interview and I am with Mr. Jaliba Kuyate. Mr. Kuyate is the most successful musician in the Gambia of the modern era. Mr. Kuyate and I will be talking about issues that affect his life as a musician. Mr. Kuyate, thank you very much for speaking to the Fati Network.
Thank you and welcome to my home.
You are the country's most successful musician of the modern era. What would you pin your success on?
Well, some people say so, claim that I am very, very successful. I don't think so. But, well, I only made sure that I am serious with my work, and whatever, little be it or much, whatever earning I get, I put it into very good use. Build houses, buy cars that are of use in my work. Yeah, well, if they think that is success, okay, that's how I've got my things.
But that is what many people measure success by. Don't you agree?
Yes, many people, yeah, they believe that when you have good houses and cars on your own, you are okay. Yeah, well, I've not gone beyond. I think success is when I have companies of my own, other businesses included, and I have millions in my bank account. That's what I think success is.
That's what you call success.
Yes.
So let me ask you then. You started music when you were very, very, very young. How was it like for you growing up in the music world? How was it like for you? Were there instances when you would sit and say, I don't think this is really my calling? Has there been that? How was it like?
It was a hectic journey. I started to have a name when I was very, very young. I did not get married then. I was just a student because I started to play on the kora for quite a long time. So when I gained name, it was difficult because I found some other people. Then, okay, our former bands were no more performing, like Fambondi and Gelawar, Magadan and the others. We are not playing anymore. I came with another trend. Maybe that was why I gained name quickly. I blended kora with our former music instruments to bring a new life to the kora and then a new life to the way of playing it. Because even the late Sir Dawda said so during one of his tours, Meet the People's Tour, when I went to entertain him in Basse at MRC. He commented that I have modernized the way of playing kora and standardized. Those were the actual wordings he used. And I believe him. Kora was mainly used for praise singing of former warriors, former kings and chiefs. But when I came, I am the one who started bringing up some educative issues. How do we plan our family? How do we go about some diseases? Like if any news was out, I was all the time using my kora to preach it to the people so that it becomes a quicker media. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
And you kept on playing kora. To today, you are still a musician. You're playing your kora. And again, what we have also seen is that Jaliba being loved in not just the Gambia, but in countries, say Guinea-Bissau.
Right.
How did that come about? you've been revered in countries like Guinea-Bissau, for example?
Well, I think this is the style and way of play that I do. Well, anything that you do, if it is nice, the heart takes it. So this is why we always believe that music has no frontier. You can listen to a Guinean music that moves you. A Guinean can also listen to a Gambian music that will be able to move the individual, so to any level. So this is why it's correct that it has no frontier. All that you need to do is make sure that psychologically you win the mind of your listeners. If that is done, then it's so easy there. I'm sure this is why the Guineans came to get hold of me to be their main musician. There are many musicians in the country. There are Justino, you name them, Sambala, Kanute, and others. But definitely, they like me so much. I cannot say I'm the most liked one there, but they love Jaliba. And anything that has to do with Jaliba, they like it.
How about the issue of language? You sing in Mandinka,
Yes.
Mandinka language,
Yeah.
and you have a number of languages, and you have a number of people who love Jaliba, for example, but they don't understand what Jaliba is saying. Has that at any point come up as a challenge for you as a musician?
Yes, it's a challenge, but all I do first is what melody do I apply? Because the melody counts a lot, because you have to get the heart. Sometimes you don't hear what the individual is saying. But I also try to speak in the other languages. Gambian
For example,
languages.
Wolof, for example.
In Wolof. Yeah, the Senegalese musicians, they always marvel at me that I am not singing in one language. I am singing in Wolof, in Fula, in Mandinka, you know, when they are based on only one. So that's it. Yeah, psychologically, you will easily get people. And when I go to Bissau, sometimes I bring some wordings in Creole. Comment, estabong, obrigado, content, things like that.
Do you write songs, Jaliba?
I do, of course.
Because a lot of people would say Jaliba doesn't write songs. He will just come and and take to the stage and then start singing.
Sometimes
is that the case, or
in
do
certain
you write?
positions, when I release at that point, if you're gifted in a way, you can come up with your lyrics. They are arranged for you. Sometimes I write when I want to do it, unless I compose instantly. But if I don't, even there also before I release it, I always come down to have my music in poetic language, arrange them coherently, and then see how best I can push it to the people. I always write.
Well, so let's come to recently, and we've seen you were on a tour of Europe, for example. Tell us about the tour.
The tour was really a success. I've been to Spain, to almost all Schengen states, 3-4 cities in every country I go to. Like Italy, I was in Brescia, I was in Rome, Torino, and the others. Okay. When you go to Germany, I did Berlin, I did Dortmund, I did Hamburg, and Karlsruhe. So this is how I was moving. I did one in Sweden. I went to Swiss, Zurich and Geneva. Those are the main cities. Oslo, Norway. In Spain, well, Madrid, the capital. I've been to Barcelona, Mataró, Zaragoza. Yeah.
And who are the people that you perform to? Are these largely Gambians or just?
Yeah, Gambians are mostly, predominantly based in places like Germany. But when you go to certain parts of Spain. Like when I had a performance in Zaragoza, it's amazing. There were only 2 Gambians, and we had about 2,000 people in attendance. But there were only 2 Gambians. That was Toure, Mr. Toure and the wife, Katim Toure, in Zaragoza. They were all Casamas people, Guineans. So it's a mixture of Gambians and all the sub-region countries. Yeah. Otherwise, it's not going to be that good. Like when I went to Paris also, this time, they were predominantly Casamas people. Gambians attended, but not more than 5, 6. Yeah. There too, the hall was too small for the people. It was full to capacity. So sometimes Gambians, when you go to a place in France, there was no single Gambian in that country, in that city. That's Bordeaux. No one Gambian. It's a big association, and they've invited us. So this is why it's good. You touch all regions. You work hard for your name to cross a border, and another border, till the demand comes for you. That depends on you. Somebody commented not long that I'm happy that the individual said I am too busy to be Gambia Union's president, Music Union's president. I'm glad he said so. Not I am useless to be able to man that. Yes, that's true, I'm busy. And when they were saying that, well, we want Jaliba, I said, I'm a very busy man, please take another one. They said, no, you, by hook or by crook, you are the one we want.
So we want as president.
Yes.
So we will get to the Gambia Music Union.
Yeah.
I just want to bring you back a little on the tour. How rewarding was this tour for you as a musician?
Well, it was rewarding because they were paying their dues. They were paying us, and they were lodging us. Some places we were lodged in hotels. Some other places we were with good families. So we know that we have entertained these people to the fullest.
That in itself is satisfaction.
That is satisfaction. That's.
And your tour, for example, came at a time when you have a number of Gambian artists who are also touring Europe and other parts of the world. Were there any instances when, for example, you would come into contact with these people, or you performing?
Well,
the same
no, I don't know. I don't know of their movements in Europe, but I met up with Balarangs in Berlin. Balarangs was given some time to start 1 or 2 songs before I came on stage. Yeah, Balarangs, yes.
So you as this is something that is widely, said, that as the most successful musician, you have a union or an association that is out there to press or to advocate for the welfare of musicians in the country. How is your relationship with this? Again, we'll come back to this issue of you being approached to be president of this union. But how is your relationship with this association? Let's start from there.
Well, the union is fine. It's going on fine. I have a very cordial relationship with most of the musicians, most of them, because I bet 90% of all musicians approach me to have my voice in their songs, to help them in some arrangements. Yeah. I did that for over 90% of the musicians. So I think that is enough help. There are other helps, but I'm sorry I couldn't go beyond this one. Other helps are pushing money into all their pockets. That's practically impossible. I couldn't do that. And I think I had some comments that somebody commented, but I take the individual in good faith, that I am very bad. I am not taking anybody abroad.
Yes, we had those reports that, okay, there are musicians who
Fine.
think Jaliba is not doing enough.
No, fine,
Some would even go to the extent of, for example, Jaliba is to the Gambia what Youssou N'Dour is to Senegal. Youssou N'Dour has a studio, a very big studio in Senegal, where almost all the local musicians would use if they want to record a song or an album or whatever. But they are saying that Jaliba, with all the contacts, with all the money that he has, I mean, he doesn't even have a studio, like a studio to find a way of opening a studio in the Gambia where young upcoming budding musicians can use, for example, that you contributing in their development. What do you say to that?
I have a studio. My studio is downstairs, and I am doing all my recordings in there, and most of the musicians have started to come here record. And I am sure the technical team there is pushing them fine in terms of paying money is different from others. Like somebody coming from Senegal or Guinea to record. It's cheaper. They are not doing it free. Even myself, I'm not playing free in the studio. But there are certain levels that definitely will not hinder anybody's progress. Will not bother you at all. So I have a studio. They keep saying this, they don't know. If you want to know my studio, you come, then we take you to the studio. For the past 2 years, this is where I record my own music. So it's well equipped. And people are coming in, day out. Well, sometimes they invite me. Maybe that's why some of them don't know. They invite me in other studios. I go for nothing, for no pay. I go sing for them. Most of them, you name them, Freaky Joe, Singate, the national anthem song.
Yes.
Akuntu had songs, Egalitarian, ST, name them, many. Over 90% I have helped. So I think that is enough.
How about the issue of, because what we see in other climes or in other countries, we see like well-renowned musicians, established international musicians, you know, supporting further these young upcoming artists, for example, when they have like tours in Europe or America or other parts of the world.
Yeah.
They pick 1 or 2 young artists and travel with them.
That is acceptable.
Are these things that you've done before or not?
Well, one, I'm not as successful as Youssou N'Dour. Youssou is very powerful. He's got support from his people, for his government, his country. Until they push this outside, he's able to have a platform like Bercy outside. In Jaliba's case, this is not possible. I am smaller here than him. Maybe through music, we are of the same caliber, but, you know, the environment differs. So that's one thing. 2, I will only rely on invitations, like if I'm to go and play in Spain, they will demand somebody then I take along. Each time they do that, I do that. I take you along as they want. Then we do it together. You do part, I do part. Very fine. But some people, the way they think it is rather impossible. And you don't sit there to say somebody will push you abroad. It's not easy, especially somebody who is not that well equipped to be given by an embassy, to be given permission to take along 100 people, 50 people. If that was the case, of course, I must have to do that. But in my case, that's different. I'm not that powerful. Two, what is important here for the musicians, I want to put this very clear to them. We work very hard to be known in our country and to be respected. That work will push your name beyond a border and beyond another border and beyond another border until you are demanded. That's how I came up. I never went to anybody to say, well, this is what you have done to help me. No. You have to work hard until people love you. They like you outside and demand for you. That's it.
So that's what you would advise them?
That's what I will advise them, and not for them to sit down to wait for somebody to pick them up to go abroad. Otherwise, it will be difficult. Because before we get to that level, you may be late. Like I have a big forum outside or a big contract by a big company that, yes, you can come have your own place yearly. You'll be playing here and you're allowed to bring 50 people or 100 people, let's say. It will be late.
So now let's talk. Your music has taken you to places. Your name is everywhere. You've all up to the point of you being appointed Goodwill ambassadors, say UNICEF, for example. Mm-hmm. What exactly do you do as a Goodwill ambassador?
Well, I am working sometimes with the office, and even without the office. As UNICEF Goodwill ambassador, I am always into child affairs. I stand in my programs to say we must unite for children, and we must respect the basic rights for children. The right to be fed, the right to be educated, the right to be clean, and I give those advice. Sometimes the office also uses me. They use me to go up country. Maybe they'll have certain teachings that they want the people to know about, like the 4 quick wins. I go with them, play, tell people.
So these are sensitization campaigns?
Yeah, and I voluntarily do so many songs. That's where I started, because as a teacher, songs about children. How do we mold them? How do we make them become good leaders? So I think I'm doing a lot. Even to stand here, I'm here for the children. That's enough. A Goodwill ambassador. Yeah.
Do they pay you for this?
No, I'm not paid. You are not paid if you are a Goodwill ambassador. They just rely on you, on your support. And you use your name and influence so that their teachings go through to society easily.
To put across certain messages.
Yeah. Like your stand, good. You are a very fine man, nice man, people love you, people like you. When you're associated with children, that can make people love children.
But there were some rumors that, you were sacked as ambassador or something, as a Goodwill ambassador for one of the groups.
It's not to my knowledge yet. I serve as a Goodwill ambassador for many. In fact, almost all departments here. And Gambia Tourism Board is one of them. Even this recent tour I did, I stood in front of so many whites to talk about the Gambia how nice the people are, how friendly. How friendly. People are even laughing when I said you can shake hands with even wild animals.
In a way, you are trying to boost the tourism infrastructure.
I always do that. And sometimes the office will use me to go to certain countries to grace their occasions, like a tourism fair in Berlin, in many other places. So I think I am doing enough for all those people.
Let's talk about your recent project. What are you working on currently?
Well, when I was on tour, I said, well, I have not been releasing for about, I do this launching biennially. I said, why don't we start another record this year? Meaning beginning of 2020, in January, I think precisely on the 11th of January, we are planning to have a big launching program in Q City, where we'll have an album that will sound fitting to all Gambians, called Democracy. We're coming up with Democracy. That's the project this year, and I'm sure so many people are looking forward to that. And yeah, I think the rumor is out and people love it.
How many songs are we talking about?
8. 8
songs.
About 8 songs, yes.
Can you give us an idea as to, you said democracy, and when you talk about democracy, I mean, something will click
yes.
in the heads of people.
No, what I'm trying to say in this song is, are we being misled? Is it the real democracy that we're talking of here? Let's come together as one, shake hands, have a peaceful environment. As such, I have said we should not be fighting or insulting each other. I think that's not democracy. Because I mentioned in my song that nyo nengoma modulu ngoma keloni sonko fana niata anyine nyama Korea understand.
So here, in essence, you are talking about individual to person to person relationship.
Yeah, we bring whatever come what may. We have a peaceful environment than a chaotic one. That's what I'm trying to teach here. Lo yelua kanta kuluni mfama jikono. Ifam bunya edul bunya, then it here understand. Ni man kuke kutela. That's democracy. And it does not mean that we should fight. We should blow each other all the time. Intelligently, we should talk to each other. And again, after that, be friends. Continue to be friends. Yeah.
How is your relationship with this government? Because your relationship with the previous government wasn't the best for one reason or the other. How is your relationship with this government?
This one is better than the other one. Far better than the other one. Well, sometimes we do programs, we invite the president who will send some people to participate on his behalf. But yeah, they're saying yes to our movements. Yeah, we're not that connected, but it's very fine with them.
I know you are a musician, but I'll ask you this final question.
Right.
What do you make of the state of affairs of the country? Generally speaking, are you impressed with what you see in terms of the future of this country?
Well, this is why I want to talk about democracy, I want to talk about the relationship between people. In fact, not only democracy, there are other songs in that album which will teach us a lot. So many things. I think when we continue peacefully, it will be a wonderful country. That's what I think. I think there is a lot to come. Well, be it this regime, be the other regime, I'm not too much into politics because I know I have people that want Jaliba on both sides. So this is why it's you don't come to say, wow, this is the place I want to fight for, or this is the other place I want to fight for. I think that's not intelligent. For an artist, a public figure, you have to move them tactfully. Yes, I will say plainly that they should not mind about that. When I'm engaged by a group here, I'll go play for them. When I'm engaged here on the other side too, I'll go play for them. But what I'm always advocating is for people to understand each other. We do things peacefully. Yeah.
Mr. Jaliba Kuyateh, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.